A reading from the book of Exodus. Moses was tending the flock of his father-in-law Jethro, the priest of Midian, leading the flock across the desert. He came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There was an angel of the Lord appeared to Moses in fire, flaming out of a bush. As he looked on, he was surprised to see that the bush, though on fire, was not consumed. So Moses decided, I must go over to look at this remarkable sight and see why the bush is not burned. When the Lord saw him coming over to look at it more closely, God called out to him from the bush, Moses, Moses. He answered, Here I am. God said, Come no nearer. Remove the sandals from your feet, for the place where you stand is holy ground. I am the God of your fathers, he continued, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look at God. But the Lord said, I have witnessed the affliction of my people in Egypt, and have heard their cry of complaint against their slave drivers. So I know well what they are suffering. Therefore I have come down to rescue them from the hands of the Egyptians, and lead them out of that land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey. Moses said to God, But when I go to the Israelites and say to them, The God of your fathers has sent me to you, if they ask me, What is his name? What am I to tell them? God replied, I am who I am. Then he added, This is what you shall tell the Israelites. I am sent me to you. God spoke further to Moses, Thus shall you say to the Israelites, The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob has sent me to you. This is my name forever. Thus am I to be remembered through all generations. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
So we heard in the first reading of first Sunday the vocation of Moses. But actually, when we look at, if we put this passage, this reading out of the context, yes, it's about the vocation of Moses, but because this is the first Sunday of Lent. So during the Lenten season, on the Sundays, on the first reading is to be selected for important event in Israelite history. And this event is God is about to save his people from the slavery. So God called Moses and he said, this is what he says, I have witnessed the affliction of my people in Egypt. I heard their cry and I know they are suffering and I come to save them. So God listens, God sees, God knows that his people are suffering and he is about to save them. I remember that I think in our life there are a lot of important events. There are a lot of events happening in our life. Some of them are very important. Some of them are not important. Some we can remember very well. Some we cannot remember very well. For myself, I completely cannot remember any image about my childhood. And one day I asked my father, Dad, why a lot of children, a lot of my friends can remember very well their childhood, and I cannot have that memory. My memory is very blurred and it's just like a shadow. And my dad said, it could be because your childhood is so peaceful. So I have a very peaceful, very boring childhood. So I have nothing that remain in my mind. So I just have like memory like from 6th grade up to something like that. And I also remember that one story about my father, that he liked to remind me of important events in my life. So everything happened in my life, like my first vows, when I received the habit, and then even when I make my final vows, he always tell me that your life is turning into another page. And sometimes I feel very annoying because he keep reminding me about important events happened in my life, and he want me to give thanksgiving to God. And it struck me a lot that sometimes that we don't really realize that how important some events happen in our life, and it just passed by, and then we even don't remember the days, exactly what day. Of course, there are several days that a lot of people remember, like anniversary of like wedding or first vows or ordination to priesthood. But then there are a lot of more than that. We have a lot of important events that happen in our life, and we should remember that, because when we remember events in our life, we know that God is here. So God listens, God sees, and God hears. So the vocation of Moses is happened only between Moses and God. Possibly by this time the Israelite people do not know it, and God come to save them. Why they are still not knowing that this is a very important event, but it happened in secret. It happened in hidden. So it happened in the desert between Moses and God revealed to Moses a very important message. So I think that if we reflect and look back into some important events in our life, we can see that there is some kind of message there. What happened to me, what happened to us, there is some kind of message, some kind of God's plan is revealed in our daily events.
Virgo Maria